was that, a couple years ago, whenever, talking about she got the hot sauce in her
I got the
bag,
hot sauce in my bag swag.
shit like that, and they come up, they don't they don't. I mean, I'm not even gonna. I was about to say they don't exercise the same type of professionalism. But I mean, fuck all that.
I mean,
Because
you don't have
of
to.
course you're gonna unloosen your tie a little bit when you want something like that versus all the little mainstream platform and stuff like that. And there's different ways that it can be taken. I got the perspective that yeah, they loosen their tie. Other person could look at it as if, wow, you don't show us the same respect. So it's two different, you know what I'm saying, two different avenues, two different lanes, you know what I'm saying, opposite lanes that you can go down.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, he feels like he doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, y'all already rock with me. Y'all gonna vote Democrat. So I had the NAACP. You know what I'm saying? They always roll with me. You know what I'm saying? And all the other black people, your grandpappy, your pappy, your grandmammy, you know what I'm saying? And your grandmammy before that, you know what I'm saying? They all voted Democrat, you know what I'm saying? So baby, you might as well just keep the generation going. Yeah. Keep that thing going.
As you see, I sparked up for this interview, so ignore that. And we still gonna keep it, you know what I'm saying, focus on the goddamn comments, man. Y'all need to spark up too if y'all feel. Get your some Jack or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Get laid back and let's think about what's
laid back and enjoy the show.
Lauren, I see you over there, man. What you got on all of this, man? What do you think about what Biden said?
I mean, if you want to, breaking down the interview, you know what I'm saying, because I listened to the whole interview that he had before he had to get off to let his wife get on the air and everything. But, I listened to the whole interview and then I did some fact checking, you know what I'm saying, on what he said, because, this interview was deeper than that soundbite. And so I want to make sure that we talk about the entire interview and just not the soundbite, because of course the soundbite, sent shockwaves all over the internet. You know what I'm saying? And that is probably just a level of comfort that the Democratic Party has with our community. When you talk about the powers like the NAACP and national groups like that have been in existence for a long time, representing us. They have predominantly, follow the Democratic candidate or the Democratic leader. So all those things are facts. I fact check his statement about how black people in his home state support him, and he's spot on. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like he was speaking from an unfactual base. Now, obviously the conversation started to go towards the crime bill and things of that nature.
Wait, you said from an unfactual base. You're talking about from the statement, from the dealing with the statement. He said from an unfactual base.
I said from a factual basis.
I mean, from a factual basis. Now you're pertaining to the statement, the actual statement that he made.
Not the shockwave statement. I'm talking about when he talked about the black representation in his home state.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to.
Okay, yeah.
But as they started digging deeper, Charlemagne had a very solid interview for the time that he had. But then when they started talking about the crime bill, I think is when it got a little bit more murky. He had to play a little bit of hopscotch on that conversation. Basically, he tried to basically say, you got to take the good with the bad. In order to get some of the things you want, you have to accept some things that you don't want. Is basically what he was trying to say, as it referred to the crime bill that, destroyed a lot of black homes. Every president that, for the most part, has said, they want to, get people out of jail on petty crimes. They don't want to mess with that. He made a reference to, anybody in prison on a marijuana charge should be out.
Yeah.
You know, little things like that. You know, so the interview to the end was solid. I'm not even gonna front when you just listen to it just from a listening perspective. Before he got to the end of the interview was solid. You know, he said things that, you know, most black people want to hear. Whether or not he's able to carry that shit out is a whole nother issue. But he said a lot of things that black people would want to hear from somebody that they want as the next president of the United States. And I'm just being honest when I say that. You know, majority of sheep just follow. You know, so he said a lot of things that made a lot of sense for us. You know, there's a bill that Charlamagne referred to, and I don't know if anybody's done any research. I ain't doing any research on it yet, so I can't speak on the details of it. But I'll touch base. I'll follow back. I'll do some research and then follow back up because
Charlamagne spoke on
which bill?
It's the new thing he's trying to get. That's basically you know, is for non-white people, as far as, you know, business and things like that. It's basically his version of what reparations would look like if he was able to pull it off. Basically, like, the word reparations, it just kills the whole conversation. So you got to give it a different name. And I mean, you know, I mean, he said what he said. You know.
Hey, what do you think about?
It was a super irresponsible statement. The statement that he made was incredibly irresponsible.
What do you think about his what do you think about this extending his claim to be extending the voting act another 25 years? What do y'all think about that?
Oh, I mean,
that's interesting.
I mean,
I've told people about this too.
Yeah.
The fact that you got to extend something, not just make it law. It's got to be extended. Like, okay,
right.
Now we're going to decide. Now we're going to decide. Like, it's not just something that is what it is. That's something people should think about right there.
Well, but here's the thing though. If you listen to a lot of what Biden says in general, you know, outside of the outlandish statements, they all make them. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we could go back and Obama said some crazy ass shit that would make you be like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So every president is good for some bullshit ass sound bites. But when you look at Trump and
Biden are pretty exemplary though, if I might say. They shit. And I'm talking about equally, because you know a lot of motherfuckers going off the media. They gonna say, "Oh, Trump's just the worst thing." Like, nah, these motherfuckers are pretty equal. If you ask me, Biden might be edging down Trump just a little bit on the stupidity meter, man. I don't know, dog. Biden has said some stupid shit.
And he done some crazy shit.
It's definitely a good race, but you know what I'm saying? He ain't beat Trump.
China. China.
But nah, I mean,
there's people dying that ain't never died before, man.
That's China.
Yeah. But nah, you know, he's a good tap dancer. You know what I'm saying?
Sure
Biden's a really good tap dancer. He doesn't want to ruffle the feathers of, you know, too much, at least, of the rich and powerful. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, you know, they control the majority of what happens. But he also wants to make sure that, you know, he does get our support. And let's be honest.
Say that again. Wait. Say what you just said before that. He don't want to ruffle the feathers of who?
The elite.
The elite, the rich and powerful.
Yeah, he doesn't want to ruffle the feathers of the elite, but he does understand the importance of having the support of us.
Why do people vote?
You know? And we'll touch on that. But no, I mean, we always say, you know, on this show, don't be sensitive about words. We talk about that a lot because a lot of people say a lot of crazy shit, whether it's presidents, governors, senators, regular people. People just say crazy ass shit. So you kind of got to just understand a person's character, what they're about, how they move in general. So I'm not going to say that that statement didn't mean anything. But what I will say is that if that's the worst thing he's going to say, uh, I'm not going to cry about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to cry about it because we've said that too. We've said that. And I'm not saying us, but there's been black people in power.
Black folks that said that, yeah.
That have said the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? Vote for the black man because I'm black.
We've addressed it multiple times, but it's just as when it's funny. It's funny to me. The whole thing's funny, but I just can say like it can be looked at as extremely, just offensive because it's not coming from somebody like black. It's just like white person saying I can sit on here and say the NIGGR. You know what I'm saying? I can say it as much as I want. I'm talking about the ER, not even the A. You know what I'm saying? Now people won't like it. People won't like it, and it's a problem. But let a white person say that. You know what I'm saying? So it's something different when you got a white person trying to tell black people. Like I said, we're just throwing off the classifications here in America and all that. A white person telling black people who's black. You know what I'm saying? That's highly insulting. You know what I'm saying? That's
Sure, absolutely, and that's why I said, it was very irresponsible. That's a fucking irresponsible statement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not one that you get back. you don't get to take that one back. You know what I'm saying? It's out there, it's in the open. It changes. It changes the perception of how certain people view them. Not everybody. You know what I'm saying? But how certain people might be. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, he was the reason that he was able to make that statement, let me be 100% clear about this. The reason that he was able to make that statement was because Charlamagne made him feel comfortable in that interview. Charlamagne made him feel comfortable to where he could loosen his tie a bit and let stuff fly because you recognize that he almost said ass too. Did you catch that?
What?
Him almost dropped saying ass during the interview.
Oh, he said it. Yeah, he said it. He said I kicked everybody's ass.
He got ready to. I kicked his ass. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, we knew what he was trying to say, but he got super comfortable and
he said that's what he do. That's when he put out the apology.
He said a lot. He said a lot of stuff, man. Like here's another one. Here's another soundbite that I'm sure nobody picked up out of that was, I wanted to go work in the inner city to see how they lived. What?
Oh, I didn't catch that one.
You went to go do what?
But this is a person who's signing crime bills and stuff like that. And see, that's what's funny about him saying that shit. You know what I mean? Keep in mind all this crazy stuff I told you Biden said before, and also and this was in the past, but he said it. He's never taken it back. He wanted to have separate schools, wanted to segregate the schools or whatnot. He was actually for that. But when
I believe in segregation, but I don't believe in segregation by race.
What like intelligence or something, test scores or
boys and girls.
Boys and girls.
Yep, up to a certain age, I believe in it.
Yeah, but just off skin color. Biden was talking about skin color.
Yeah, we know.
But that's him to sit up there and say that. You know what I'm saying? After all these years, the dude's almost 80 years old, and he's just now talking about trying to see how niggas living in the hood, and you signing these bills, and then you sit up there, you championing it as a, basically, you're gonna make some mistakes. Sometimes you gotta, everything's not gonna be perfect, but it's like you said, they gotta please the elites, the people with money. So they're not gonna go and get to the root of why there was crime and why people are in this position. We talk about, people should be more intelligent. They shouldn't fall into these traps. But where these people who are in these positions, they understand the mindset. You see it every day. They show that they understand the mindset of people everywhere. And so people are going to do what they do. They're going to make rash decisions. They're going to make, decisions based on survival. The majority of people, aren't going to use, aren't going to really sit there and try to think out. I mean, I'm talking about even when people are in comfortable positions, motherfuckers don't use rational thinking. Because think about how how people were able to convince a nation to go along with racism for so long. Things like racism and Jim Crow. And I ain't talking about slavery, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about after you go with the black codes, Jim Crow, stuff like that, and be able to go for it for years and have, big white mobs. I'm not saying everybody was involved in it, but the shit was able to last. So it wasn't no real fight. And it wasn't until they decided, you know what I'm saying? We could say, hey, black people went in and we fought. Yeah, there was an uproar, but, it was when they decided. Keep in mind, they know how to manipulate shit. You know what I'm saying? They know how to manipulate media and things like that. Because, like I said, they told you what they pushed Martin Luther King for. But as soon as Martin Luther King started changing up his message, they don't go with that shit. They go with the I have a dream. They stay with that I have a dream speech. That's what they want. Because they want, you know what I'm saying, keep people locked in and, you know what I'm saying, and have you begging, you know what I'm saying, wanting to be accepted, be in places that you don't want, and have us step in, and have the government step in. It's a whole nother reason for the government to step in. And once you ask the government to step in, man, it brings more power. You know what I'm saying? It gives them more power. So,
okay, so I got a question for y'all.
For him to even... What?
All right, so I got a quick question for y'all. So who do you guys think that will be his running mate? Well, who do you guys think would be behind Joe Biden?
Well, let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to get because I just want to say it's when we talking about. I wanted to finish that because we'll tell you where I'm going.
Go ahead.
People are just easily influenced. People are easily influenced, man. And that's what it comes down to. And so, like I said, they know this shit. So we can't just keep it with the, hey, people should have known better. They're not going to deal with the original issue and things like that. They're not going to deal with what led them and, all the different shit that pushed them into that mode. So, that's just another thing that people aren't noticing. But we're going to continue to vote for these same people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he never said he never denounced the crime bill or anything. He really believes that it was the right thing, and we cleaned up the crime. But you also took fathers off of the street. You took fathers off of the street. Like I said, and I keep bringing up that point just for the people because I know there's people out here that are going to say you shouldn't fall into that trap. But y'all will not show me anything different that none of you won't fall for different traps. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the general majority. That's just one way of thinking. That's just one mentality. You know what I'm saying? But it shows itself in many different forms. What was you about to say? I thought you were about to say something more. What you say? Who's gonna? What'd you say, Randy? You said who's
gonna be his? Who's gonna be his running mate? What black woman is gonna be his running mate? What black woman is gonna be his running mate?
Well, it seems like he got that Amy Klobuchar chick or whatever, but it shouldn't even be, man. We should be falling out of this shit right now. We should be falling out of it.
Why?
Huh?
Talk to me about why.
Why? Because all you're going to do is they're not going to deal with the root of the problem. They're not going to go and start attacking those bankers. They're not going to start, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to go and they're not dealing with the root of the problem, man. And all it's going to be is the same old stuff. It's the same.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because I already know where you're going. Yeah. I already know where you're going. So let me ask you this. So let's say black people don't vote. Let's say not a single black person votes. What does it change?
No, let's say not anybody votes. Let's say
Okay,
not
what does it change?
anybody votes. And this is just ideal thinking because there's always going to be dummies that are gonna join in. But
Okay.
say anybody votes, now you sit up there and the system has to expose itself. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to make a move because because we're telling you we're not approving of this. So now you force the next hand. Now you see if they're honorable, if they're, you know what I'm saying, they show themselves to if they show themselves to be honorable and truthful, they're gonna sit up there and try to figure out how we can make this work, or you know what I'm saying, or something like that. But now next thing you're gonna see is now they're gonna force their hand and you're gonna see who's really in, you know what I'm saying, who's got the power, people stepping in and different things like that. Are you following what I'm saying?
I do. I'm not sure that would be the end result, but how do I know? You never know what's gonna happen to you.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, but because and then even if it's the end result, I mean, what's like a scenario like say they get numbers out of nowhere, motherfuckers gonna be like, well, where those come from? They can even do that now. We don't know what the fuck is real because all we know
done
is,
it.
huh?
They've done that shit.
They've done, yeah, exactly. They've done that. They've had times where they've screwed it up. If y'all remember,
Al Gore.
Dick Gregory was talking about it, how they sat up there and they awarded him 9 million votes, and it was because he was like, I didn't get that many votes, but he says it's because they wired it and they wired the votes the wrong way and it pushed it to Dick Gregory. And I think he actually, if I remember right, I think he actually won the election. If it wasn't election, it was primaries. Won the primary. So I don't remember which one it was, but yeah, man, they got the ability to mess with all of that. So how do you even, how does anybody even know? Is when you start pulling out, you know what I'm saying, pulling out from, all the bipartisanship and them saying nice words and actually hold them to their standards. Like, all of them are breaking, you know what I'm saying, violating rights and different things like that. But it's like we're trying to choose the less of the two evil. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about violating different shit that is, essential to be able to keep, a level of liberty. I'm not saying go with no government at all. No government is I don't know if I want a government or not, but not adding more power and giving them more, you know what I'm saying, leeway to have control over lives. Like the control is always in the people to begin with anyway. The control is in the people. But when you sit up there and they stated outright, when you sit up there and got the director who's with the Federal Reserve saying we're above the president, you know what I'm saying, we're above any discipline or anything like that. And these are the people who are controlling, you know what I'm saying, who gets paid and different things like that. It's like, what's the, you know what I'm saying? It starts focusing like, why are we focusing on this little game right here when this is where it should be at. We should be focusing on these folks because they're the ones who are making the policy. You know what I'm saying? Not these presidents or whatnot. They're just getting what's sent down through through the grapevine or whatever.
So, but if you make a statement like that, though, what does it matter who somebody votes for president?
It's if they're voting because they're voting, they're looking for actual change because they're putting out it. We can say that
not necessarily because what if Trump wins again? Then we ain't looking for change. We looking for more the same.
But we're talking about so not everybody's looking for it though. Not everybody's looking for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's looking for Trump to and even with that, Trump, a lot of people voted for Trump because they thought he'd be changed. So change is subjective. Change is subjective to each and everybody, but it's not going to bring, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that. It can affect, who's around can affect, you know what I'm saying, the particular person, but, we're getting into whole something else. What I'm basically saying is it's not gonna be it's not gonna solve problems. you're not going to be able to end poverty and different things like that. And he's not somebody who's for your rights and stuff. These people aren't going to be able to protect you. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm saying. But yeah, you can get some level of change off of, you know what I'm saying, depending on whether we vote them in or not, depending on who's in office. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can get something.
So here's how I feel, because I do think that voting is important. I do believe that. I don't care if you're talking about voting for the president or you're voting for the goddamn Boy Scouts den leader. I believe voting is important because it gives people a visual representation of some sort on how people feel. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so if anything, it does that. You know, now I've said this for quite some time, and I do believe, at least from the way that the United States is set up, that this is a true statement and will always be a true statement, is that when you're looking at somebody like the president, you know what I'm saying, it's like student council president of 5th grade, man. It's a popularity contest, you know what I'm saying? That's why they call it the popular vote, you know, and things of that nature. And so I don't think it will ever not be the lesser of two evils. I don't think that'll ever change in a democracy. In a democracy, I don't think that ever changes. You know what I'm saying? Take the first 3 letters of democracy, and that'll tell you a lot about what democracy may really mean.
Is there a possible way? Because we're in the tough waters when we're talking about being able to. Do you see in your mind a way to be able to even track down, like, say we want to have a candidate for ourselves? Because yeah, you do want to vote and you want to get somebody in there for yourself. Or when I'm talking about don't vote, I'm talking about, you know, just dealing with these 2 clowns that you got, or the people that, or even the people that they had put down as, you know, candidates who were in the race before that. Like they were all clowns. And we're talking about going off of the standard, and you sit up there listening to what they're saying, they actually contradict themselves with their policies, their different laws. Because we're talking about contradicting themselves as in the oath that they swear into, you know what I'm saying, and what they hold as the supreme law to the land. And so those are different things. Like you're willing to put, you know what I'm saying, somebody who's disingenuous, you know what I'm saying, in office. But as far as getting somebody you want in, how are we able to track that and able to combat the system when they decide they want to wire in a few votes and, hey, we'll have this person instead?
Yeah, that's, I think, where it gets extremely tricky.
Yeah.
You know, but I do think that we should take this as a learning lesson, because what's done is done. Unless somebody go shoot both of them, we got who we got, you know.
We're not condoning that. We're not condoning that.
I'm down for
We're gonna have Roy Jones,
we're not advocating. We're not advocating violence.
I'm not advocating for that. But what I'm saying is we have our two candidates.
We're not advocating anything. No, we have violence. We want to have civil discussions, and you know what I'm saying, and be able to map out what we want and bring it to their face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now we have an opportunity to learn from this, and what we have to do is the problem that always happens is you don't have enough. You have too many differences of opinion, and so nobody ever vets out each person that's even running in the first place. Like that never truly happens because of the way the 2-party system is set up, which if you understand the way the 2-party system is set up, that's the biggest problem, is that, go ahead.
Let me ask you this, because I think there's a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people that do vet out. The question is the process of vetting out. Do you think that I can tell you straight up that people don't know how to vet out. They do the vetting, but there's an actual correct process of doing that vetting.
Absolutely.
And that even when you bring it, you know what I'm saying, and you explain it to a person right there to their face, it still doesn't resonate. It still doesn't resonate. It's all like, okay, let me go back to CNN or what CNN and Fox is saying, and we'll go off of that because that's what sounds good to them.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm gonna put it to you like this: let there be a non-democratic or Republican candidate that really, really digs into social media. I'm talking about digs into social media and creates this crazy buzz because it don't take nothing but some money. It don't take nothing but some money to pull it off. You know, that will at least start the wheels turning. Now, I'm not saying that will create change, but that would at least get the wheels turning because we're at a point right now where we need to start turning the wheel. You know what I'm saying? You know, or I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean it in any harm, but maybe it's time to just break the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's time to break the wheel.
The wheels
build a new wheel.
The wheel's been broken. We just keep turning and turning, think it's gonna fix. So literally.
No. The wheel has not been broken, and that's the problem. We may be driving on a donut.
So what does the wheel represent? Huh? What is the wheel? What does the wheel represent?
Right now?
The wheel is broken.
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now, the wheel isn't broken. And
I'm saying what does the wheel represent? What are we talking about when we say the wheel?
Republican, Democrat, and that's the only thing that matters in politics.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the only thing that matters in politics. Now, I'm not saying that other people, you know, you have liberals, you know, you have independents, you have a lot of different parties, you know what I'm saying? But the two-party system, it just has such a stronghold on America, the United States of America. That is, God, we've really taken a nosedive on this topic. We supposed to talk about.
Yeah, man, because we get into the meat of it. You know, they gonna say, like you said, they gonna say they bullshit. Or, you know, it's always gonna be they all ignorant. We got a bunch of nutcases so you can't be surprised.
I wanted to make this point. Because I feel like this is a very, very important point. You know. When you run a race, whether it's a political race, whether it's a foot race, whatever it is, what's the objective?
To win.
What's the objective?
To win.
To win. Okay. I'm not going to say that, you know, we haven't had some solid presidents because we've had some solid presidents. You know, nobody's been, you know, particularly outstanding, you know what I'm saying?
Here's a better one. Nobody's been the solution.
There you
Nobody has been nor will be the solution. But as far as standards, the standards that's been set.
So I'm gonna take everybody back a little bit. I want to talk about my man Abraham Lincoln. Okay. Let's talk about Abraham Lincoln for just a hot second.
Lincoln.
So, Abraham Lincoln never wanted to free the slaves.
No.
That wasn't the objective. The objective wasn't to free the slaves. The objective was to win. And so his people was like, "Hey, man, you can get a whole lot of support if you take them over there and you free them."
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, "You serious? I can win?" And so he trusted his people's opinion. And what'd he do? He freed the slaves. Not with the intention on freedom, but with the intention on winning an election.
Yeah.
That's what that was about. And so if the fact that we're still having this conversation now is really based off the fact that this shit wasn't ever set up for us to be successful and for things to be fair. I'm taking you back to goddamn 1865 and it's 2020.
Yeah.
It wasn't ever set up in a way for it to work out for anybody that wasn't elite. Anybody that wasn't elite, it wasn't ever set up to for that to happen. And so, you know, how we doing is we like dogs chasing our goddamn tails because we're too afraid to stop chasing and start thinking.
Yeah.
You know, and so
And I want to be clear, when I talk about keeping things, having the solution to problems, keeping things open, keeping things protected that give us the chance and give us the freedom. Now you always gonna have different things that could pop up, like a motherfucker try to impede on your space or whatnot. That's why you gotta hold the fort down. It's always going to be obstacles, but just keeping the different things like the rights and inalienable rights and things like that open and keeping them protected so we can have an opportunity to be quote unquote elite or within our own rights and elite self-sufficient, because the elite are self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? They cause they predict where the rules, you know what I'm saying, all the rules are going to go and what's going to happen. So you know you got to keep those protected, and each one of those presidents, because of all necessity and always some type of different issue, it's always going to be some type of necessity. Right now is health, it's always you know, economy, you know, it's different things like that, you know, different things that 9 times out of 10 are induced by them. It's always going to be some type of something to take those protections away so the elite can gain more control. You know what I'm saying? People have more control and tell you where to go, and they can keep competition. It's just like, you know, when you're talking about two wrestling, you remember WCW and WWE, they had to, with the Monday Night Wars and all that shit, they had to, one had to get the other out the way, you know what I'm saying? Because it's cut into their revenue or whatnot, or how they saw it. Now, what it could have been is it kept the competition and kept them both on their shows and kept people engaged or whatnot, because I don't think it's the same. What the product isn't the same as what it was back then, but how they're seeing it and how a lot of places are just, you know, a lot of people are in competition with each other. So they're trying to get rid of that, you know, the competitor, you know what I'm saying? The motherfucker across the street, you selling your barbecue, motherfucker across the street, you want to get all the attention, you know what I'm saying, get all the revenue or whatnot. And that's the same damn thing when you're talking about people having control, you know what I'm saying? People, and when you're talking about people that have had power, and power corrupts, and they get a taste of that, they want some more. So there's just, I'm breaking that down for people who think that's just out, you know, it's we talking like there's some big evil, you know what I'm saying, super villain somewhere. Like, oh, these motherfuckers really got that type of mindset. That shit is the biggest drug in the world, man. Power, you know what I'm saying? The ability to influence, and losing that, you know what I'm saying? You think motherfuckers go crazy after they lose all of their bank accounts? Shit, let a motherfucker lose some power, man. They go crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I circling back to this Joe Biden thing, because I want to circle back to it.
Like an abusive husband or something. We just gonna say, yeah, like an abusive husband that wants control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If we circle back to this Biden thing, you know, I know you've posted 1,000,000 times over, don't vote. You know, trying to encourage people that, you know, this is a way to exercise your power, or at least let your voice be heard as it relates to choosing the right candidate or having the right candidate to, you know, support all of the people that live in this country. You know, and like me, this is just me personally. This is just my personal opinion. I do believe, and this is just my belief again, I do believe that at the end of the day, if you choose to vote, you're going to choose to vote, in this particular case, for the lesser of two evils, based off of statements. We're just basing it off of statements, you know what I'm saying? Because Before now, Trump had no political resume at all. So
That's factual.
at least Biden had a resume of some capacity that you could, you could research, you could look into, you could understand where he stood on different things. And I'm not saying that should throw him to win by any stretch of the imagination. But I do think that experience matters. At least the motherfucker acts like he cares. You know what I'm saying? He may say some off the wall shit. You know what I'm saying? But he gives a semblance of I give a fuck about, something that ain't just me.
That's how you sell dreams, though.
Who Biden?
Yes.
Nah, I don't get that.
That's how you sell dreams.
A matter of fact, that's how you view. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's my purview. I think that's gonna get that. I understand that. I think eventually, man, we're gonna find out one day, and it was conspiracy mode or whatever. I think they've been working. I've been thinking the Democrats been working. I've been saying this for the longest because people are fucking ignorant. They can just be as ignorant as anybody else, but it's just the consistency. And I'm talking about from when you talking about, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about Democrats. We know Trump and, you know what I'm saying, on the conservative side and shit like that, they say he's stupid, say and do stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't disagree, nor do I believe that there's a conspiracy. I think it's out in the open.
Is it out? Nah, it ain't out in the open.
Yeah, don't.
I mean, it's something that can be deduced. Like I said, we're focusing on the left and Democrat side, whatever, liberal, because that's the one that's, you know what I'm saying, everybody's love. So they're the majority, that they're gravitating. That's the side that, everybody, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, the smaller minority, you know what I'm saying, whether it's the poor. There's a lot more poor folks or people with less money than it is, you know what I'm saying, elite. With the
liberal Democrat is what you go
up. The more you go up the ladder, the more, you know what I'm saying, it shrinks. You know what I'm saying, the population and the demographic shrinks. You know what I'm saying, as far as that.
Did you say liberal Democrat?
I said liberal or Democrat, you know what I'm saying? Because you can be liberal and because Republican or whatever, but I'm talking about the liberal base, you know what I'm saying, Democratic and things like that.
You said that's what our generation connects to?
I mean, no, the people who are viewed as the smaller man, you know what I'm saying? The smaller man and so like I said, whether it's people of, like they say, people of color or the poor or whatnot. But yeah, that's what it is. But
I'm so sick of that shit.
Yeah.
What, the POC?
Have you ever colored? Has anybody ever colored before?
I have.
When you color black, do you personify that with yourself? Like, wow, that's the exact color I am right there.
Yeah.
That's me right there. Yeah.
It's real hard to. I mean, you can paint white better than you can color white. I tell you that.
Classic.
Never mind. I just had to get that.
Classifications, man.
I just had to get it out.
Oh, that was a good one.
Burnt Senior. There you go. You gotta get
Timon said, I can add more to that. We were just emancipated. Never have we been deemed or declared citizens of the U.S. Us different stuff. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that a lot, man. They say.
Who said that?
Tim Owens. I can't personally. I don't know enough about the citizenship thing. I've heard different things, like it's, it gets real weird, especially talking about Social Security and just, all type of different things, like, say, yeah, we're not really citizens. I really don't know much about that, but emancipated and also emancipated. Yeah, I guess we were emancipated because emancipation is more of a, being freed from a particular legal bind, I guess. You know what I'm saying? A legal bind or something that's social or whatnot. So, yeah, we
Yeah.
yeah,
Can I ask a
so
question?
like, those are kind of like two different things when you talk about being citizens and then being emancipated or whatnot. You
Can
know,
I ask a question?
well,
If there was a white, if there was a non-black, non person of color, like there we go, non-person of color that was running for president, and the conversation started to come up about uh, race and minorities and what are you going to view? What if the statement was made, you aren't going to race bait me? I'm running this campaign on equality for all people. Would you believe him or her?
No,
um,
no. You a
You
politician.
said no.
You a politician.
I mean, it's that's everything like that. I like I said, we personally, individually, you're not gonna believe what a politician says, but I mean,
Why not?
that's
Why
up to
not?
the individual. Well, that's just based off the information. Like I said, the different information that a person says, and that we're just getting into like the details when I say all of that. All
Yeah.
you can really do is take a politician at face value when they say these things. So they sit there and say, I want to do this for black people. I mean, you got to take that at face value because
What if they
because
wouldn't?
we start,
What if they weren't willing to have a black agenda though, and it was an agenda for all people? Would that change anything? Because we're upset because the man is saying, "I'm with y'all." You know what I'm saying? Vote for me because I'm with you.
yeah.
But then if he would have been like, man, I don't have no black agenda because I'm running this candidate, I'm running my campaign for all people, we would be like, man, you full of hot smoke. So which way are they supposed to go?
Yeah.
Which way are they supposed to go? Because if you saying you can't trust a politician, you know what I'm saying? So obviously you're not being honest by saying, you're not running with an agenda, which is a lie. You know what I'm saying?
No, everybody's got an agenda. Even even the voter, everybody's got an agenda, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so I guess it just begs the question. Like I said, I was so offended by his this probably sounds really emotional, but I was so offended by that particular piece of the interview that I actually went to bed. I went to bed.
Yeah.
I got to sleep.
I guess
I played the
good
soundbite for my wife and I went to bed, man.
It felt good. It felt good to me. It felt good hearing a white person say it because I'd heard niggas say that shit for so damn long. You know what I'm saying? That it ain't nobody, like I said, ain't nobody really gonna say nothing. I just be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Y'all making thoughts a monolith. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have free thought. We just all think the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same education, and it doesn't work like that. We all have a uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it was just funny. It was more funny to me. It was like, wow, did he really say that? But I wasn't offended, but I was surprised that. Not surprised, but it was just mind-blowing that all of these people that always, oh my God, did you hear what Trump said? It came from China. And you'd be like, that was racist. And just all the other little what else did, man, it'd be some petty shit. Trump said some stupid shit like the shit with Charlottesville. He's saying people, there's good people on both sides. About that. So people are saying, you're like, so the way people are characterizing that is in the wrong context. Because if you want to say he's rocking with racists as well, he's got racists in his office or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And he does business because it's hard to prove, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll come out with little articles and a lot of stuff he says gets spun and then they talk about, there was a lawsuit, from his tenants. And lawsuits don't make stuff true, so to say. But we can, it's about how, you want to take it. But people say that's substantial evidence. No, substantial evidence, if you can go with this. if you sit up there and you're working with a racist, you have people who are in the Ku Klux Klan, white nationalists and stuff like that, and you have them in office, you can basically say that, hey, that's what you roll with. I haven't really seen anything that's flat out says Donald Trump is a racist as far as verbally from his words. When I heard him say that, say good people on both sides is, hey, I got money flowing in. I got ties on both sides. You know what I'm saying? I got some money tied in on both sides. So, hey, there's good people on both sides. So, like I said, a person could take, well, he's in bed with these motherfuckers. What do you think the presidents before you, Barack Obama, let's talk about the people you like, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and all of those fools. Who do you think they were in bed with? Because that's the only substantial and concrete thing that you can really have and say Trump was racist, and that's what, like I said, the Charlottesville thing, saying it's people on both sides. That shit was bad because the motherfuckers was down there was on some bullshit. There was actual. I say they like to label militia groups as white supremacist groups to get people to push the public opinion against them, where actually doesn't be the case. But those people down there, they weren't actual white supremacists as far as their ability to be supreme. They're just, you know what I'm saying, they don't have that type of power. But as far as the group title and shit like that, that's what they were in. And Trump's basically saying, you know what I'm saying, he's saying that behavior is okay. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I took that as he had money on both sides. Because you've seen him, even if it's on face value, we don't know, motherfuckers got all type of agendas. But Trump's tried to endear himself multiple times to black people and bringing them up to the White House and this and stuff. No matter how stupid or disingenuous it looked, it's something he did. How can you say the next person wasn't being disingenuous? You hear how Joe Biden talks on a consistent basis. But like I said, these motherfuckers are in bed too. If you don't know, I want y'all to look up Robert Byrd. This is not a conspiracy theory. Robert Byrd was a Grand Wizard in the KKK. Documented. Grand Wizard in the KKK. Died in 2010. Was a politician. Guess who was at his funeral? All these motherfuckers that they love. Obama, Clinton, all of them. You know what I'm saying? Biden. They're right there in the picture. They got them right there at the funeral for a KKK Grand Wizard. So that's what I'm saying. So y'all got to use the same, and we can sit there and say, oh, they had to. It was they had to. You know what I'm saying? They had to fulfill the obligation and things like that. So what the fuck do you think Trump is doing when he says there's good people on both sides? All I'm trying to say is you got to have the same fucking energy when I'm talking about that. And we talking about what Biden said. Y'all gotta have the same fucking energy. And for y'all not to be offended at the little stupid thing that Trump says is China. Oh, that's racist. Like how? But they were quick. Jamel Hill, Simone Sanders, all of them motherfuckers were quick to defend it. Oh, this is what he meant. This is what he meant. And like, nah, it's nonsense. What you about to say?
Nah, I wasn't about to say nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my take on the whole thing. Here's my take. You know what I'm saying? If you like Trump and you have supported Trump through his 4 years and you feel like he did good things for the people, so take your ass to the poll and vote for Trump. If you like what Joe Biden is saying and you think he'll be a better representation for this country, go vote for Joe. If you feel like they both suck and neither of them deserves the right to call himself the president of the United States of America, don't go vote. That is the right that you have. That right there is the right that you have. You have the right to vote. You have the right to not vote. Period. You know, where I think things become more important for me, personally, is, who are you voting in office? Because that's essentially who vets out the candidate. There's a popular vote, you have the electoral college, So your vote's just saying this is what the people said, but the real vote is in the electoral college. And you vote in every single member of the electoral college to represent you as an individual in the state in which you reside in. So pay more attention to the little things, because it's the little things that make it good for you or bad for you. The president has power. Let's not get it twisted. The president has power. But the true power is, if you want to find a true power, follow the money trail. Follow the money trail. That's where you'll get to the root of all this evil that you see going on in this country and really across the world. That's where you're gonna find it. You're not gonna find it at no voting poll, voting for the president. You're not gonna find the evil there. You're gonna find it in a different location, and so, for me, like I said, this presidential vote and any presidential vote, until we change the America being a democracy, will always be the lesser of two evils. Always. Don't matter to me. It's always going to be the lesser of two evils.
To you?
Yeah, to me. That's what I'm saying. That's why.
Over a republic?
Over a republic?
Yeah.
No, I said as long as we're in a democracy, we're considered to be a democracy, right?
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because I don't know if you caught what I said earlier. What are the first three letters in democracy? Demo.
Yeah.
Test.
It's four letters.
It's a test.
It's four
letters. I say, yeah, four. My bad.
Four
Demo.
letters, man.
My bad. My bad. I need to go back to work. But nah, demo. Demo is a test. You know what I'm saying? It's a test. You know what I'm saying? You demo food, you demo everything. It's just a test.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I think it's super, super important, for us to say, all right, we don't like this demo. Let's figure out how to we got to fix the demo. You know what I'm saying? We got to change the test mechanisms, in order for us to be able to make a better decision. Because, I guarantee you there's people out there that would probably do a great job leading the country for all people, not just white people, not just black people, not just Hispanics, for all people. There's a candidate out there, you know what I'm saying? But the way it's set up right now,
they're not gonna get that. Yeah, they're not gonna get that type of. They're not gonna get that type of.
They'll never make it there.
You saw where, because I think the person who was most leaning toward that, even though, like I said, she had her flaws or whatnot.
Oh yeah, she's crazy as hell.
Marianne Williamson. I think she leaned closer to that, but like I said, she probably had the least support out of any of, you know what I'm saying, out of any of them.
She would have had 100 cats in the White House.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dog.
But look, man. I want everybody to take the statement that Biden made and interpret how you feel and how you want to deal with the statement. You know what I'm saying? It was a very irresponsible statement. You know what I'm saying? In the words of the great Stephen A., it was a very egregious statement. Shouldn't have came out of his mouth, but he's comfortable saying a lot of things that I believe that some of us aren't comfortable saying in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? He let his hair down a little bit, and that's what happens when people let their hair down. That's exactly what happens. Imagine what he would have said if he really was invited to a barbecue.
Y'all got some grape soda?
Nigga, it would have slipped out at some point. It would have slipped out. You know, when the record skip, everybody turn around like,
screw.
I don't think everybody tripping like that, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't personally don't give a fuck if somebody say nigga. Now you say the ER, yeah, you bound to get your ass whooped. Now I do advise people to be less sensitive to words and shit like that. I'm just telling you, me personally, say that you might get your ass whooped.
Now let me ask you this. I want to just ask a different question since we're talking about Joe Biden and Charlamagne. Is there a better person that you think should to interview Joe Biden?
Man, no. Man, there's all type of people, man. I think Charlamagne Um, just as, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I don't want to keep making it like, you know what I'm saying, just coming at the left or whatnot, because like I said, you got shields, as they say, and people who going to be on that side or whatnot or cater to that no matter what. You got shields on both sides, but yeah, man, I think Charlemagne's too locked into, the left, you know what I'm saying, and Democrat and stuff like that. He's sticking to that. Like you're not gonna see him interviewing nobody on the other side. You're not gonna see him. They don't even want to. And they got their reasons. They don't want to talk to Trump. But like I said, they get up there just as corrupt. You know what I'm saying? And just as out of whack ass Trump. You know what I'm saying? And got a record before that. So it's like I think there's a lot of people, man. You won't find them on normal TV. Like I said, they want to keep all that. They want to keep the audiences and stuff like that. The real media is like, people like us, you know what I'm saying? People on, we don't have a huge following, but, there's a lot of people that do have a pretty good following. All on YouTube. YouTube's where a lot of media, and you get a big melting pot of different ideologies and people, whether it's race or however they feel, whatever partisanship they subscribe to. You're gonna get a lot of that, man, but they'll never get the media, they'll never get that type of thing, because like I said, it doesn't fall in line with what they're trying to they want to keep that type of division, and they want to keep it as a game, man. Shit, man, like there's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people you can get up there.
Okay. I was just thinking about.
I think Charlemagne did some. He did. He had some good questions or whatnot. He's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Yeah, he's pretty good. But I just as far as yeah.
So do you think that the president? I think this is an interesting question to ask. Should a president, not the president, but should a president just in general, should he be a down the middle type of guy, or should he be
leaning one?
This is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to come to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming to you. I have the vision to lead this country, but you got to come to me.
You said, well, should the president be I'm not coming to you, you come to me type of person?
Yes, sir.
So talking about for a future, whoever we're electing, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that?
In this hypothetical, I believe he should. In this hypothetical, I believe he should have people on both sides, and he be the one to make the call, because they don't have people on both sides.
What do you mean?
So Democrats will only listen to Democrats and will give suggestions to Republicans, but it'll be mostly majority rules, which is whoever whatever party is the most. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Whoever owns the most seats.
Right. So yeah. But that's just my thoughts.
It's up to the people. Yeah, I see. Well, yeah, I think it'll be more up to the people to try to get in, because you got a lot of. Because you'll talk to and like I said, it's up to the president. But a lot of people, if you ask Don Lemon or somebody on MSNBC or some shit like that, like, would you be willing to interview Trump? I don't know, man. We really don't know, man, how it really. I guess, yeah, it should be mutual on both sides, because we really don't know how that really takes place behind the scenes or whatnot. But like I said, the media is ran, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's dollars behind that, man. There's people above them, so they run that. The real media is always going to be in the streets. If they ain't touching bases with the streets, man, and like I said, I'm not, the streets are anywhere. Just
I know.
Hit the streets, man, wherever it is, man. Hit the hood, hit the, you know what I'm saying, out there in the sticks, you know what I'm saying, out there. If you ain't amongst them and, talking amongst those people and seeing what it is, people who aren't got a bunch of dollars back behind them. So say a presidential candidate comes on something like this, they just happen to see us. We don't have that many people. We got 4 or 5 people live with us right there. They're just clicking through, and they happen to see us on live, and they say, well, they've seemed pretty passionate. Maybe they got questions. They decide to hop in. You know what I'm saying? And answer questions and things like that. That's when it gets real. You know what I'm saying? That's when it like, okay, this person's real. They're not sitting up there and this person said this, or he said this, and that's bad for sponsors and shit like that. Like, these people are bought. You know what I'm saying? They're bought. And so anybody who's bought is able to be led away. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna follow they're gonna follow the money, man. They're gonna follow the money.
Man, let me get my party ready then for 2024.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Low Joe for president.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. People don't know how to separate. People don't know how to separate their emotions, man. You're exactly right. That's why we're not. A lot of people just aren't able to have. We're not even able to have these type of conversations. You know what I'm saying? As far as it's a little easier when we're up close and we talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Physically, but a lot of shit is just going through filtering through social media, and people already have problems reading as it is. So you put something and made it clear, and they sit up there. All they see is one thing. And why would you say that? And are you doing it? And just all type of shit. And it's like, it's just there's a break in the communication, man. So everybody, they get all emotional, and you know what I'm saying. And they not even trying to hear each other out, and they go back to whatever world nobody's really trying to come together. They just want to stick with whoever's like-minded. So yeah, man, we got to get, and a lot of it, like I said, it deals with emotions instead of, no matter how much I hate it, let me sit there and listen to it, and maybe there's something I can learn from it. But I'm a pick apart what he said, and if it's no good, I'm gonna disagree with it, and I'm gonna tell them where to disagree. But what happens most of the time is, nah, I don't like how that sound. Nah.
Yeah, and
they just check out.
I do think that you want to connect yourself with like-minded people. They just need to have the ability to be objective. You want to be with like-minded people. You just want them to have a high level of objectivity to really look at situations for what they are and not what they're intended to be. Because if you just rolling with a bunch of people that don't think the same as you at all, y'all don't have shit in common, yeah, that's a nightmare. yeah, that's a nightmare, man. You may say, I don't want to hang with you after a while, but I think the objectivity is the important piece. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's willing to call you on your bullshit. You go left when you should maybe be going right. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna stop you and say, hey, slow down. Let's look at this. Let's break this down and look at this for real. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, being like D Wade and
And in other news, this was a great episode
I had to do it.
Man, boy, D Wade.
It was all because of Gabrielle Union.
That was like Halloween came early. Anywho, what else y'all got on this?
We ain't got nothing else. Man, we appreciate y'all. You got anything, Randy?
No.
You got anything?
No, I'm good.
We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Each every last one of y'all. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Tim, for your comments, man.
Cousin Tim. Cutting Tim. That's
what
my
up,
cousin.
Tim?
I know we went pretty long, but yeah, there's a lot to, it's always stuff to unpack. You know what I'm saying? You get one conversation and then you get a sub conversation out of that, and it just leads to, it's all type of different shit, to cover, when we talking about these different things. Hey man, we just have fun, but we want to make an impact, make an impact also while we having some fun. We want to see actual change. And it all starts with the mind. So, appreciate everybody who's tuned in. We're going to head over to Grit Sports Media. We got good topic on that. If you ain't subscribed to that channel, go to Grid Sports Media. We're gonna talk about this NBA season that's about to come in. Yeah, we do the sports too.
That's
It's
the
more
sports
fun.
platform.
It's not, like I said, we're not looking for anything or any change of the minds in sports. Sports is all fun, but it's something we passionate about. And like I said, we do media. This is where the real media, everything we talk about, music, shit like that, that shit starts in the streets because it's gonna be uncut, it's gonna be unfiltered, it's gonna be ain't nobody got their hands in our pockets. You know what I'm saying? And even if it does, it's gonna go. I know for me personally, it's gonna go my way, the way I want it to be, or it's my way, or it ain't gonna happen at all. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can take that. Y'all not forced to have to believe me. Y'all take that at face value. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is, bro. Check us over, man. We do media, man. And this is all we're going to our sports media. Go to